Boy, ain't no way, boy. 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 Boy, ain't no way, boy.
But first, you gotta get speed. Demon speed. Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
only thing that matters. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like CURTOSEY. I'm great. You work hard. Go for it. Train. Go. There's more to it. The secret. Protect the code is part of your game.
I cannot.
You're thinking about your whole game. Backed by science.
I don't believe it, bro.
Loved by estimated
I don't believe it. What is going on, Florida State family? Seminole Nation in the 863 tribe. You know who I am. You know why we're here. I do have the Knicks on in the background. I don't expect us to win tonight, but if we do and we go to the Garden, Knicks are going to win the series. But I don't think we win tonight. But y'all ain't hear about they listen to no Knicks. Y'all say I'm blurry. If I'm blurry, it's just I'll let the video render in. Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, I am pretty blurry. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. And should be a little clearer, but whatever. Just got to do what we got to do, man. Like I was saying, y'all know why we are here. It's Armageddon, the apocalypse. He's coming. I'm speechless. I don't know what to tell you. But the rumors were true this time. Legit video on campus. He's here. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, aliens, the Yeti. He's here. The man, the myth, the legend. He's here. I am I never believed it was gonna happen. Never in the history of college football that I can remember. A kid, a young man, a young athlete doesn't enroll at any school, goes literally off of the grid for 2 years, and not only comes back to college football, but he comes back to the school that he originally commits to. Like normally, something like this happened, you see him go the JUCO route first. He comes back. That says a lot about him. It says a lot about Mike Norvell and just however they must feel about him. Crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm gonna get this out the way, man. But I am so happy for Dustin Hill. Quite honestly, I know I made jokes, said he wasn't real, but hey, it is what it is. Until he got on campus, that's what it was, right? Obviously, we knew he was a real person, but when you disappear for 2 years, like literally, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. You know, anybody in that chat, I'm telling you right now, anybody in the chat that tells me that they knew all along, y'all are bullshitting. You're lying. You're lying. You know it, and I know it. Anybody that's sitting in the chat right now telling me, oh man, I knew the whole time. I knew he was gonna show up. You're full of it. You full of shit. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's here. I'm happy he gets a chance to live out, his college dreams, play big time college ball. Happy for all of that. Before we kind of dig deep into the Dustin Hill talk, which by the way, disclaimer, I don't know. So before people start asking, bro, I don't know. Still don't know. We may never know. A part of me definitely wants to know. I'll be lying if I said I didn't want to know. At the same time, at the same time, I think it's fair to sit back and go, you know what? Whatever it was, maybe it's best we don't know. Between him, family, whatever, people that were involved, whatever the situation was, I legit don't know. That's in the past. That's 2-3 years removed, whatever it is. Let's move on, man. And we got him for the next 3 to 4 years, hopefully. I mean, the transfer portal is a thing, but I can't see um, I can't see how. I mean, I see people joking about the portal, but I'm sitting here like I can't see how you would sit for 2 years. The school stayed loyal to you for those 2 years, and then you were to hit the portal. I mean, everybody's got to do it best for them. I am so sick of the Knicks, bro. We suck. So there's that. We just got to get rid of Julius Randle. But anyway, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's talk a little bit about the transfer portal, man. Before we do that, y'all hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and share the video. Let me turn this down. The Knicks, I hate the Knicks, man. That love-hate relationship. Let's talk some transfer portal. Hit like, subscribe, share, all those good things. Share the video, man. Let people know we are live here. Key's the big one that got away, I guess you can say. He was definitely a position of need. Hold on. I missed the super chat. My bad. Did I miss one? I think I did. Hold on. Give me a second. That's when I had to refresh my screen. Shout out to Jeff with the $10 dono. He says, the myth, the legend, Hill. Who would have thought that this day would come, that he actually showed up after 2 years? I can't believe it. Bro, none of us can believe it right now. Not a single person.
Jeff.
But back to what we were talking about briefly. Jalen Key, I believe is his name. UAB transfer, Tallahassee native, has chosen Alabama as his next stop to play college football. Kind of hurts, to be honest with you, because that's a huge position of need. I don't know how long y'all want to spend talking on safeties with this whole Dustin Hill, the ghost of Dustin Hill that is upon us. And it's no longer a ghost. He is in the flesh. He is he has risen. But that was a position of need. And I don't know. I know they go the JUCO route after this. There's a JUCO guy who's listed at like 6'3", 200. Allegedly runs this 4.3 or whatever he runs. But okay, we'll see if that's true or how that guy looks. So there's that. I worry about the safety position. I'm not gonna lie to you. I worry about the depth there. As of right now, it's hard for me to say that Florida State's a legit playoff contender. I'm just being honest with you guys. ACC contender, sure. Playoff contender, not with the depth looking the way it's looking. I mean, if you're telling me we're going to have to depend on Kirkland and Hussey, I mean, that's fine. Not saying freshmen can't play, but it's going to be difficult to let me put it like this. With freshmen come freshman mistakes. Once you start talking about playing freshmen over a certain amount of snaps, you're relying on them. Big plays are going to be given up. Blown assignments are going to happen. Injuries are a huge possibility, which is one of the other reasons why I'm vastly worried here. So unless you're talking about moving AZ or somebody to that safety room, we already moved Marion Cooper and he dipped. So here we are. Here we are. We have two experienced safeties on this roster. We'll see what we do, man. We'll see if we go somewhere else. I know they offered a DB, so I don't know if he's a corner safety out of University of Texas San Antonio. I forget his name. I think they offered him. So that's a guy that they could be potentially bringing in. Maybe even if he, at this point, it doesn't really matter. If you can play corner, maybe you get a quality corner in the portal. You can move one of your current corners that you think makes the transition to safety. So we missed out on Key today. This time last week, we were talking Key and Coleman. Well, Coleman's the next one up. I know Coleman just visited Old Miss. And a lot of people think there's some real smoke with Ole Miss. So we'll see what happens with Coleman, Ole Miss, and Florida State. I could see the appeal for Ole Miss from the simple fact is he's going to go there and be the guy. I think he has a chance to be the guy here, but he's going to compete for that spot. Right? So Ole Miss is probably the clearest path to being the number one guy. Where Florida State, he's going to compete for that. And then they say also NILs will be a big deal there. So that's kind of the news and notes, man. I think Travis J just recently committed to Colorado. Shout out to Travis J. This man, Deion Sanders, has literally picked the entire FSU backups. It's wild. It's good for Travis J though. I'm glad he gets to go and get a new fresh start. I hope he can live up to that potential that we always saw here, right? Hope he can go there and live up to it. I'm not so sure if he can, but I hope he can. That's it, man. Let's get to it, man. I don't know, man. I still really don't know what to say about Justin Hill. What do you guys have to like? Let me know something, man. Before we get into that, man, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Let's get these likes up on this video. Hit that like button like my man Greg Jones used to hit them DBs, man. Hit my like.
Go your motherfucking ass to sleep. Whoa, shit, what the fuck good buddy hit me with? I told him I wasn't sleepy. He had to have a brick in that bitch.
So smash that like. Dustin Hill, what is there any expectation? Like, can we have a serious conversation? Can we have a serious conversation? What is the realistic expectation for Dustin Hill 2 years removed from football? Though I have seen him. Looks in shape. Good size on him, man. He made Greedy Vance look like a kid. I just want to know from the people, what's the realistic expectation? Does he redshirt? He's mature for a freshman now. He is a freshman. You're talking about a 20-year-old, 21-year-old freshman at this point. At what point? I mean, what do we think? What do you think? I really don't think you can just come off the street and play major college football. Right? I really don't. As much as you want to hope he can come in and give you something, I don't think you can just come in and play major college football off the rip. I don't believe so. What I believe is you just ease them in. And if you can, he'll play his 4 games, I think. FSU is in a position this year where they'll probably have a few blowouts, right? They'll probably have a few games where he can get some garbage time snaps. But to think that he's going to come off the streets and then all of a sudden, have 30, 40 catches for you. Me personally, I have zero expectation. Zero. None. Nada. Whatever else is a simile for zero. I don't have any expectations for Dustin Hill. So if I was to get one catch out of Dustin Hill, one meaningful catch, not garbage time catch, but a meaningful catch and a meaningful catch in an actual competitive game, to me that's a plus. To me that is more than I expected. So I don't have any, man. My screen keeps doing some stupid stuff. Hold on, guys. Give me a minute. It's starting to bother me. Probably didn't fix it, but I'm just trying. But like I was saying, man, that for me that is way more than I expect. One meaningful catch in a competitive game, that's way more than I would expect. So I don't know, man. What do you guys think in the chat? What do y'all think? Let me scroll up a little bit here. Panama says, I'm hearing Hill will play a huge part in the punt return game this year. From who? Hey, man. I don't know. Y'all better stop listening to Twitter. Stop listening to Twitter. A huge part. We'll see if they try to ease him into that part. To all of a sudden assume that he was going to play a huge, or he is going to play a huge part. Marcus thinks he'll red shirt. Hold on. Tyler says, one shot me if they throw him out there. There's as a returner, but I don't see him getting snaps. Red shirt and get adjusted to the game. 20 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 200 yards. That would be amazing. I don't see it, but that'd be amazing. 10 yards a catch, 2 TDs. Norvell specifically mentioned playing special teams. No, Dustin Hill will play a lot this year. He can give us something in the punt, return, and kickoff. Heard he's been working out, not sitting around eating cookies. I'm sure he has been working out. He looks in good shape. I don't know. Working out and actually playing football are two entirely different things for anybody that's done it. You can be in shape and not football shape. So, yeah, I'm sure he's been working out. He hasn't taken a hit. When's the last time he had to beat press coverage and run a route and jump over? Like, when's the last time he's done any football-related moves besides maybe running routes in the backyard or something? I don't know, man. I don't know. Why is Hill? I don't know, Shard. Don't know. Realistic expectation, special teams impact. Also, by middle of the season, getting some snaps here and there. But his athleticism by that time will show. Whatever he gives us is a bonus. Any wideout who catches the ball on third down is a hero in my book. So important to convert. He looked like he can be on the Deion Sanders. He looked like he can be one of Deion Sanders' son in that picture he just posted in the white uniforms. Man, don't say that. Last thing we need is Deion sniffing around Florida State some more. Don't say that. Jeff with a $20 dono, man. Shout out to Jeff. He goes, Desert Hills is possible he could get on special teams. Maybe kickoff, red shirt is possible. Kind of talent just don't go away. I agree. But it takes some time for him to get in the football shape. Maybe by next year. If he had a spring, but no. Shout out to Jeff again, though, for the $20 dono. My main man, Jeff, always comes through.
Jeff.
Clank, clickety, clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
I think they'll use Winston Wright. Winston Wright is the one guy on the roster right now who has experience returning punts and who was effective at returning punts at West Virginia. I think the first option has to be Winston Wright. I'm just scrolling up so I can catch up in the chat. He should get. Oh, absolutely. He'll play against North Alabama, but is that a meaningful game and is that meaningful snaps? It probably is meaningful snaps for him. When I say meaningful snaps, I mean as for a team. Like, is Dustin Hill playing in the LSU game? Probably not. Like, I'd be shocked. Is Dustin Hill playing in the Clemson game? These are what I mean by meaningful snaps. But is he going to play against North Alabama or Boston College blowout or something like that? Yeah, he'll play in those games. Hardhead says he's from New Orleans and Dustin Hill, a.k.a. Fat, is ready to go. Hope so. That would be insane. that would be. Maybe we can touch on that. Maybe we can touch on that. Sav says if he hasn't lost a step, he likely is the fastest player on the team. If the 4-3 stuff is legit, he may very well be. If so, we haven't had a player with he is, to your point, he is a lot bigger than I thought he was. Hill's a thick young man. Pause. But yeah, he's bigger than I thought he was. I'm just glad he's on. I'm with you, Chad. I'm glad he's here. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys remember 2 years ago, he was my favorite, commit. And then he went away, and then I was like, "Is this dude even a real dude?" So, but yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I'm glad he's here. I'm definitely glad he's here. Dustin will play against LSU if the starters can't get no separation. Well, I'm not so worried about that. I think we'll be fine. Here's my issue with what you're saying, William. If our starters can't get any separation against LSU, which I don't believe is the case, I think our starters will be just fine. I don't know what makes you think Dustin Hill will be able to get separation. You just think, he's just going to run past the guy. Speed does not equal separation. Slow receivers can get elite separation and vice versa. Like, speed doesn't mean separation. So I just say that if our guys who have been in the system, if Tron, if Johnny, if Winston Wright, and these other guys, if they can't get separation, I don't know. Putting Dustin Hill means that they're going to get separate, or that he's going to get separation. Is that even possible to be a one and done? He's still a freshman, regardless of what age he is. I don't know. He's such a unique situation. I think there is. So there's definitely an age limit with the NFL. So I think you have to be 21 to enter the NFL draft, which is why I think most kids stay 3 years in college. I think I could be absolutely wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure. If there's no age limit, well, I'm assuming he has to at least do his 3 years of eligibility. I'm assuming. I really don't know the details behind this. This is such a unique situation. I think this is like one of the first times this has probably ever happened. I have no idea. To be honest with you, I have zero idea. I just know the Knicks are about to lose after being up by 1 million in the first quarter, and then they just let these guys come back, and now they can't score a basket. Being a Knicks fan is hard. He's built like Jamar Chase. I don't have a problem with it. It's not like we were, at least I don't think we were, turning players away. It's not like we were like, no, we're not going to recruit X player because we got Dustin Hill coming. I think it's a low risk, high reward move. Again, what was the expectations from you? No one expected him to be here. And that's why I said I have zero expectation. If I can get a catch out of this dude, then it was a good pickup because I don't expect anything from a guy that's been on the streets or wherever he's been on the couch for 2 years, right? I don't have any expectations. So it's a low risk, a high reward because if he is what he was, you just saw in the clip at the beginning of the live stream, if he is anything like he was in high school 2-3 years ago, I mean, he's an upgrade over Micah Pittman for sure, easily. And like someone said, he's built like Jamar Chase. Like not too many guys we have like him. Like Hakeem's a big receiver, but he don't have the explosiveness. Same thing with Johnny, right? Big receiver, not explosive. Then some of the it's more explosive guys, the Winston Wrights and maybe the Ja'Kai Douglases and the Van Jarius Jacobs, but they're not as big as Dustin Hill is a unique combination of he's not a small receiver and he's quick. Like man, it's a high reward, low risk. I have zero issues with you holding on because it's not like you were handcuffing your team by holding on. If you would have been handcuffing the team, I would have an issue. But no, I think we're good. I would give him a shot in the LSU game right off the bat. Let's see what he's got. This isn't an O-line who needs a lot of time to develop. I think your receivers also need time to develop, though. Julius, man, I can't wait until we trade that dude. If you want the definition of a choke artist in the playoffs, is Julius Randle. Is safety the only position in defense we're lacking in? Linebacker is to be determined. Depends on how good Omar Graham is. Same thing with edge. Like it depends on. Jaden Jones tweeted here recently that he's ready to play. So what do we get out of that? What do we get out of Byron Turner or Dante? It depends on like what we get from some of these other position groups. Man, the Knicks can't even make a layup, bro. There you go. So everybody's saying you only have to be out of high school for 3 years. So I guess technically, yeah, he could be a one and doneer. Because since he only has to be 3 years removed from high school, he can be a one and done guy. Absolutely. Well, Marcus, everyone disagrees with you. 3 years removed from high school is the rule. Jimmy Butler ain't got nothing to do with us missing layups. Shout out to William for the $4 don't know.
Tallahassee, I'm with the Seminoles. I've been getting to this paper, focus on my goals. Trying to run this money up and pull up in a row. All this talking gangster, that shit getting old.
Would I trade Julius Randle for Pascal Siakam? I haven't watched Toronto in a while. The last time I was watching Toronto, Siakam was actually playing really good. The thing about Randle is this dude plays really good in the regular season. Like he's Superman. All NBA. He was all NBA again this year. When he gets to the playoffs, he's a bonehead. He's not a smart basketball player. Jeff says, only time we had a unique situation like this is but totally different. Chris Winkie. Well, see, Chris Winkie's not really a unique situation because a lot of Brandon Weed and Chris Winkie, a lot of guys go get drafted by MLB. They come back. Like Chris Winkie, there's been Chris Winkies before, right? And there will continue to be other Chris Winkies. What makes Dustin Hill unique is he wasn't drafted by some MLB or something like that. He had no social media presence. Again, bro went completely dark, off the grid. He was supposed to come last year, didn't happen. Same time this year, that was last year. Rumors pop up again, But this time he actually like it's such a unique. His situation is just extremely unique because I can't think of a player that this has ever happened to. Right? So I just I don't know. Uh, yes, the Knicks can win, but you have to understand. When you watch a team, you know how the team plays and performs in tight situations. The Knicks play like they've never, because they haven't. Like we've never been there before, so we don't have a veteran presence on this team. That when we just need smart plays, we don't get them. We get people throwing the ball out of bounds. So that's why I don't think the Knicks are going to win tonight. It's 3 years. That's why Maurice Claret tried to sue to get. I remember the Maurice Claret situation. What's the guy's name who's working for the Zephyr Hills and tried to get out of the NFL and won a contract? I believe Dustin can't do it. It's always to get a Jamar Chase Jr. Do you think the NFL would even look his way if he did? Probably after 1 year? No. Obviously, no. Right? He's going to have to show. Here's the thing. And Island Boy, I think you unintentionally bring up a good point. When that time comes, we will find out what happened. When the time that if Dustin Hill is good enough to go to the NFL, if that time comes, that's when we find out what happened. That's when we find out, because the NFL is going to bring it up. Or the NFL is going to ask. Our media won't ask. I don't even want them to ask. I don't want Florida State's media to ask them anything. I don't even want to know right now. Just play college ball and do what you do. But when the time comes, we'll find out. Yeah, he's a dummy. Whoops. Hold on. Sporadics, I don't know if you can do that, man. Can you really? Is this you can't really? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, if that's what we're claiming, that's what we're claiming. But we knew Dustin Hill was already, allegedly knew, right? Whether I believed it or not is relevant. But they reported Dustin Hill would be here in May 2 months ago. I jumped on the FSU bandwagon when y'all beat LSU. You need to beat LSU again so I can stay on the bandwagon. Man, did you jump off when we beat y'all, Marco? Dustin Hill was in the nut house. I don't know if rankings matter to you, but how would you feel if you guys were ranked under LSU? For one, I expect us to be ranked under LSU. For two, I'd give two shits about preseason rankings. I think they're pointless. I think they're meaningless. And if it was up to me, I wouldn't rank a team until week 4 or 5. Preseason rankings are stupid, in my opinion. Never been a fan of them. Don't like them. So yeah, but I expect us to be ranked under LSU anyway. Little bit of SEC bias. Plus, I think LSU, if you look at recruiting in the portal, they definitely have had or should be fielding a more deeper roster on paper than Florida State, right? So I think LSU will be a top 5 team. I expect us to be a top 10 team, though. But I don't care about preseason rankings. They don't mean anything. Does anybody even remember who the preseason top 5 was last year? No, because it doesn't matter because TCU ended up in the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? They just get fans talking. The rankings get fans talking, get people clicking on websites, it gets people buying magazines. That's what the rankings do. Um, I'll take Dustin Hill over a decent UAB setup. Johnny, I hear you, bro. I ain't mad at that take, but listen, bro. Dustin Hill is not gonna see the. Okay, to me, I don't think he sees the field in any meaningful situations. Key would have seen this field. Key would have competed for. If you get Key, there's a reason Bama wants him or wanted him. Obviously, Key gives a Shaheem Brown and a Akeem Denton run for their money, depending on how FSU was looking to use him. I don't know. Was he more of a strong or a field guy? I wasn't too familiar with this game, but Key would have competed. Hill's not going to probably compete at his position group. So, I mean, I hear you, bro, but that's just me. That's just me. We will be deeper than LSU. At certain positions, maybe. But we're not deeper than LSU, probably at backer. I'm not sure our interior defensive line, I think, is pretty deep. I'm not so sure about the edges. And there's no way I can say our secondary is deeper when. Can you name two other safeties that's not freshmen? You can't. So I think defensively they're deeper than us for sure. Now I think offense is where we make the case against anybody in the country offensively. I think we make that case from O-line to hell, even quarterback room. I mean, show me another school who's 4 deep on the quarterback room. Most schools ain't even doing that. Even the schools that recruit quarterbacks fairly well don't go 4 deep. And I'm not saying we're 4 deep in terms of starting quality, but we have 4 scholarship quarterbacks, running back room deep, receiver room deep, tight end room deep, O-line deep. So offense, I think we're there. Defensively, I think LSU's got us. So maybe that balances out. People want to sneeze their brains out in the background. We'll be top 3 after week 4. If you go through 4-0, I agree with that. I agree with that, Jonathan. So when is Destin Payson? Yeah, great question. When is Payson showing up? If we get Keon Coleman, then we're even more deep, right? We're deeper. A G5 safety is not going to make or break our team. No, I don't disagree necessarily. I wouldn't say it would make or break. It's not act like it don't help. I mean, can I ask a question? Did a FCS defensive end make or break your defense last year? If you don't know who that guy is, you might want to, we say things like a G5 safety, but then your best defensive end was the guy that played at Albany last year. So you never know. You never know. Yes, we did, but you know how fans like to do it. We like downplay. We like to downplay when we don't get a guy that we know we wanted and we know we needed. Then we start to downplay. Well, he wasn't that big a deal. He played at UAB, but we knew all of these things before we missed out. Look, I'm not calling Key a whiff, but Key was an addition that we needed. So I will hold FSU's fans' feet. I will hold the fans' feet to the fire on this. So that's just how I do. What's going on, Galaxy King? See a Hurricane fan in the building. Definitely needed Key. He would have been a good depth for those younger. Yeah, absolutely. At least we can be honest, Antoine. That's all I'm saying. Let's not downplay it. We needed Key. It's okay to need a guy. It's okay. Perkins is a monster. That is up for debate. I don't think they're better than us. but I think they'll be better than they were last year. It's all about matchups, and it's about what matches up. So I'll be interested to see. My bad, y'all. Got tied into this game as we let's see. They have us in safety and cornerback, linebacker tied. Everything else we deeper. Linebacker tied. Okay, maybe. I don't think we're tied at backer. We don't have a guy like Perkins. It's just flat. Period. Um, and like you said, they have us in safety and corner. You can maybe make a case they got us in receiver. Um, they've got neighbors. We got Johnny, but then their backups. Now their backups, the guys kind of behind that are a bunch of 5 stars. You can make a case at wide receiver for them too. Person, I think you can make a legit case for them at wide receiver. Um, what is their DB room is deeper than ours, but I think he went there for whatever reason. There's some talks that when he hit the portal, he was already going to Alabama, and you know how these guys are doing in today's age. There are players that are hitting the portal, and they already know where they're going. Some of them go through the process just to explore their options or just to make it look like they're exploring their options. I think he kind of, if the rumors are true, and he was already going to Bama before taking the vid, like he knew he was going to Bama off of the rip. Um, I think he took FSU visit just to see, you know, but it is pretty glaring, like the different interactions he had with Florida State and Alabama. Like he was, so Bama does have Terry and Arnold, who's also a Tallahassee native over there. Good job, Miami. If you're a Miami fan in the chat, man, congratulations. You boys are going to the Eastern Conference Finals because we're not going to win this game. I'm going to continue to look at it, but again, when you have Julius Randle, and I like Josh Hart, but not when he's shooting threes. We don't need that. That was a good take right there from Hart. But congratulations. Better, I don't know. Deeper, I would say probably. Better, I'm not too sure. I think at linebacker, I would, just because they have an NFL linebacker, and I don't know if FSU has a real NFL backer. Like I think the Loach might have a chance to take a step. But Perkins is a legit NFL guy. Antoine Stone says teams have to play freshmen all the time. They aren't the starters and get to learn behind veteran guys. That they probably have higher upside, to be honest. Yeah, the problem with Florida State is we have those freshman guys at the safety position, but they don't have the starters to play. Like if we were mixing Kirkland and Hussey behind a couple quality veteran, just maybe one other veteran piece behind the 3 that you already got, I feel a little better. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that guy you're talking about, I forget his name, but that 6'3" safety, a lot of people pretty much think he's gonna commit. So that's just me, though. You don't think Jared Verse made or broke? Okay, so if we take Verse away from last year's defense, you don't think it made or broke? Really? I mean, no squad, you're entitled to your opinion, but if you take Jared Verse off of that defense last year, who's rushing the passer? That's a lot to ask from Patrick Payton because it damn sure wasn't D-Mac. So who's rushing the pass? Who's getting 9 sacks on last year's team if you take Jared Verse off? Oh, really? Man, you guys are. I expect Hill to be one of the 2 starters. Cool Breeze thinks it was a whiff. LSU got a lot of names on defense that didn't pan out at other schools. Let's not do that. FSU has a lot of name on our roster that maybe didn't pan. I mean, Johnny Wilson didn't pan out at other schools either. Doesn't mean they won't go to LSU and be successful. If we really needed him, we would have gotten it. If we really needed him, you think so? Sometimes you just miss out on guys. But again, to each their own. To each their own. But again, if you think we didn't need him, then we didn't need him. I mean, everybody's entitled to thinking what they think. Everyone made a huge deal about Hill, and now that he's here, someone to act like it's not a big deal. No one made a huge deal about Hill. Hell, people have forgot about Dustin Hill, and then y'all kept bringing him up. Again, congratulations that he's here. We've already done all the congratulatory things about Dustin Hill. Excited that he's here. I said it's even before he came here, bro. Like, even if he came, I said, what is there to expect in year one? I expect 0. So for me, I'm not going to jump off and do backflips about Dustin Hill being here. I'm happy that he's here. I'm happy that he overcame whatever obstacles he needed to overcome to get here. I'm happy that Norvell stuck with him, that they believe in him and kept their word on that. I mean, I think that's a good look going forward, obviously. So I'm happy for that young man for just being here and being in the position where he can be happy. From a football standpoint, which is what I do over here, I talk about stuff on from a football standpoint. Cool. I don't expect nothing. Anything he gives me is a huge plus. I just don't expect anything year one. It just is what it is. I think we match up evenly with LSU as well. I mean, just because I say I think LSU might be deeper at some positions, I think we're deeper at other positions, right? I think it's an even matchup. Again, I think LSU's defense is deeper. I think our offense is deeper. Oh, shout out to us, man. We got a block. And they go and call a charge on us. Watch. See? They don't want us to win. Oh, man, I'm 50-50 on it. I like our chances. But I also think Ole Miss is a real player here. I think Ole Miss is alluring to him. You're playing with Lane Kiffin, who usually gets the most out of his quarterbacks. And I don't think Keon Coleman cares about playing. This is my opinion. I don't know this. It doesn't seem like Coleman cares about playing for like a winner. It's an NIL thing with him and maybe like being the number one guy. So we'll see. I think it's 50-50. I would love to have him. It's just hard call right now. 247 says Deloach is a top 20 player where in the country. You're crazy. What? The top 20 player in the country? No, sir. And I love me some Deloach. I thought he played absolutely amazing in the spring game, and I expect like an all ACC caliber year from the Kalen Deloach. But a top 20 player in the country? Okay. Does anybody I know I'm talking to a bunch of Florida State fans, but does anybody legitimately think is Deloach a top 20 linebacker in the country, let alone a top 20 player in the country? The problem is our safety in the portal, but I just don't know how much of any of them that are any good. There's a few guys out there, man, but I'm with you. I don't know how much are any good. I don't know if they all do, Galaxy, but I hear you. I think a majority, especially the ones that kind of hit after the initial rush. Look at it. See, this is the type of plays I'm talking about. Got the clear rebound, bounces off a dude's head. It's the Knicks, and then Duncan Robinson's going to make a 3. Congratulations, Miami Heat. That's a good question, though. If talent is a wash between LSU and us, which coaching staff is better? Great question. Man, I really think this is I don't know. Let me say this. I don't know if Brian Kelly is that much better. I think Brian Kelly has definitely had the better career, but the man coached at Notre Dame for a long time, and of course he comes from LSU. Where Mike, we know about the situation that Mike took over, and just the fact that in 3 years, knowing everything that happened, we're here. Oh man, that's tough. Maybe top to bottom LSU, but that's tough for me. That's tough. Bama got a couple guys down there at safety. I would take Deloach over Perkins. Cool. Anybody agree with Chris? I'm just curious. Anybody else take Deloach over Perkins? Julius, I'd be chucking Randall for real, bro. Key went to Bama. Yes, he did. I swear people swore to God he was coming to LSU. I think people thought that the Tallahassee connections, maybe he would have came here, but unfortunately it didn't happen. He is back. I know he didn't participate in the spring. I think he's still rehabbing, but that's another thing that I didn't even mention, like Mason Smith coming back. I got news for Florida State fans. I want you to go watch like the first couple series with him in the game and tell me if we would have been consistently able to block that guy over 4 quarters. Him getting hurt was huge for us. He's probably going to play game 1, you know. Yeah, I agree with that one. And that's why that was tough for me. Like, Norvell hasn't had the talent that Kelly's had, and Norvell's played Kelly tough the last 2 years for sure. Norvell has played this guy 3 years in a row. We played him the COVID year, but we got our doors blown off. But we weren't a talented team. We weren't a cohesive team at all. And then the 5 and 7 year, I mean, we probably should have won that. We're a bad snap away, you know. Probably should have won that game, and then we beat them last year. Jared Verse was a monster last year. Jared Verse and Fabian Lovett mauled LSU in the first game. Polk, it would be committee for cuz we didn't see that production to say it would have been a sack by committee last year. What did D-Mac had 3 sacks? Like, come on. Pretty much Johnny Buckets. Let me catch up in the chat. 80% stayed on the D-line train. Stop the cap. Buddy is nice and even grown up now. 80% stayed on the D-Hill train. Stop the cap. Okay. Yeah, because they patched it up with the transfer portal. If you go look at their secondary, they had to patch it through the portal, which I think bodes well, again, for our offense. That is pretty deep. I know I like how we gotten into LSU talk, but that's okay, man. We're just talking about whatever. You can only talk so much about Dustin Hill because we don't know anything. You know, newsflash, by the way, he's here. He's here. So they are recruiting him. Well, Jay Noel, apparently he feels differently and Bama feels differently. Deloach, top 20, heck no. Top 20 linebacker, yes. Top 20 overall, no. Deloach, most definitely a top 15 to 20 linebacker in the next draft. I was not talking about the draft because the draft does not include every linebacker in college football, just the draft eligible guys. I was more so talking about, and in college football is he a top 20 linebacker? I mean, being a top 20 linebacker in the draft is maybe not even something to flex about, you know. But I'm asking, is Deloach a top 20 backer in the country? I'm not so sure. I could. Deloach got a few things working. It's gonna be a lot's gonna depend on his testing because he's undersized. Deloach is 210 pounds. Now, so was Telvin Smith, but guess what? Telvin Smith ran a 4.4. I haven't seen 4.4 out of Deloach. Unless Deloach is gonna test extremely well, yeah, I can see 20 backers getting drafted over him because he's undersized. And then if you tell me he's undersized and he's slow, yeah, probably. Oh, they got on your ass about that taking Deloach over Perkins. He said he'll take D'Lo over Perkins because anyone's best talent is availability. We don't have a week zero, Gal. We don't have a week zero game this year. We're only down by 2, but again, congratulations to the Heat. Trey Benson over 1,200 yards this season. Remember, he didn't start till War went down. That's true. If we are improved, I wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked. Deloach is fast. He's a 4.5, definitely not slow. We'll see. Again, he's 210 pounds, so he should be fast. Should be fast. Well, you know, you don't always get them. I think it helped us last year for sure getting a warm-up game. Though you can argue that it maybe didn't help us last year because we lost Bless Harris after game 1, you know? And I think Bless Harris might be our best offensive tackle this year. So little give or take with those week 0 games. You could get unfavorable injuries. We also get to work out whatever kinks there may be in the offense. So, absolutely. Week 0 games work both ways, right? Man, if it wasn't for Jalen Brunson, bro, I love that guy. Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I did. I know. I mean, I've had Freddie on the show. I know. I mean, I'll just say his name because a guy like that, I don't really care to hide. And TJ. So yeah, I heard it and I understand it. And I know exactly what he's talking about. I think if you have been following Florida State social media, everybody should know what he's talking about. I know the situation with Freddie. I know the situation where he called Muhammad Ali a draft dodger. So it is what it is. I have never interacted with either person, honestly. But it's not new information. It's not new information, so it is what it is. Every time we kind of make a run, bro, Miami hits a 3. Every single time. And RJ's gonna miss because that's what we do. We just miss shots. Jonathan says, I want to see the same aggressiveness out of Norvell we saw in the second half of the year, and not the timid, too cute play calling we saw in the first half. Number 11. No, I think he went to the draft. If you're talking about for LSU, yeah, he definitely went to the draft. And then thank you, Chad. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. So, bro, I'm not gonna talk about that junk no more. Look, I'm not giving old. First of all, it's old news, and I'm not giving it any attention. Like, there's no point in giving nobody fools with the guy. It's been a conversation that's had. It's just not something that I'm getting into because there's really nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Not giving it attention. POLK, they closed again. No, nah, I really don't. Not on the road. Again, we don't make smart basketball plays down the stretch because we just don't have that veteran guy. We got Brunson, but you need someone else besides, a 6-foot point guard to do everything, and that's the problem. Like, that's the problem. And Brunson's the man, bro, but we need somebody else, and we don't have that. And since we don't have that, I just don't have any faith in us closing it down the stretch, bro. Harold Perkins played 14 games, so I don't know about him being injury prone. Was he a redshirt freshman or a true freshman last year? Yeah. How happy would you be if we land Fox? I expect us to land Fox. Is that the other tight end? Right? I mean, I expect us to land that. I wholeheartedly expect that. We're only down 2. He really is, Marcus. He really is. If the Knicks win, we're winning the series, bro. I'm just gonna call it here now. I expect Miami to close us out. I even said that at the end of last game. That I expected Miami to close us out because we just don't play good in places like Miami. One thing about Miami, bro, you're talking about a well-coached veteran ball club. Like, look at RJ. How you get your pass stole like that? You know what I'm saying? Perkins was a true freshman. That just tells you how talented that dude is, man. It tells you how talented that dude is. But if we win, I will definitely take a shot of something back there. If we win, I will take a shot of something. What else y'all want to talk about tonight, man? Come on, keep it up. We just getting started. I feel like we've in an hour we've talked about damn near everything. So RJ's not garbage, bro. He just too indecisive at times. And they just let little old Kyle Lowry get an offensive rebound. And here go them passes. Look, bucket. Ooh, in and out. I will say this, boy. They are letting us play basketball. Not a lot of ticky-tack fouls being called. Y'all got to excuse me, girl. You've been following me. You know I'm a Knicks fan. Tyler, Chris Thompson dropping on. Bro, shout out to Chris Thompson. It's amazing how all of this. What was going on the first 3? What was going on that we couldn't recruit tight ends, and now all of a sudden, the number 1 tight end in the country is ours. We're about to get Fox, 4-star. What's going on? Jaheim Bell, Morlock, Marcus and Douglas. That's something I want to talk about. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask the 85 people, by the way, hit the like button. But let me ask the chat. I want to ask the chat a question. And I might be in the minority here. Is college football like gang banging? I know you're like, what the hell is POLK talking about? Is college football like gang bang? When you leave a team, whether it's through the portal or whatever, are you not allowed to wish your teammates well, or are you just supposed to cut off ties with your teammates? after leaving a team. And I asked this question because, man, a big deal got made yesterday on social media. I think it was completely stupid because Marcus and Douglas felt some type felt some type of way because I'm one of those fake top 50 players in the country. Douglas didn't make the top 50 tight ends in the country. Boo hoo. Who cares? It was a fake list anyway by some guy that makes lists, right? And so, but he tweets about it, right? He's like, oh, I'm not a top 50. Okay, I got something for y'all, basically. It's kind of like what he's saying, like, okay, Brandon Gant tweets at him. Now, as we know, Brandon Gant has transferred from Florida State. He is at Colorado. And he he comments and he tells him, you know what to do. Now, I took that as he's telling a not former friend, a current friend. Just because he left the team doesn't mean he's a former friend, but he's telling a former teammate, hey, good luck, man. Go out. You know what you got to do. Go out there and you ball out and you shut these naysayers up. That's how I took it. Oh, FSU media went ham. Oh, he's trying to recruit this man to Colorado. Oh, Brandon Gant's going out sad. Oh, Brandon Gant, we thought you were better than that. Ooh, Obi almost made a 3, but he didn't make it. Come on, man. Are we really gonna do this? Is college football to the point where former teammates can't wish each other good luck? What's y'all's thoughts on that? Yeah, good game, Miami, man. Y'all make clutch shots when y'all need them. We don't. Shout out to Miami, bro. I thought it was one. I thought it's like, man, this fan base is so jaded. We are the most jaded fan base in college football. We have to be, because we think everything is a personal attack. The guy can't even tweet to a friend, man. Go ball out. What y'all talking about this dude saying he this and he that? I thought it was ridiculous. I think grown men should be embarrassed by the way they acted about that tweet yesterday. I honestly do. 30-year-old, 40-year-old men losing all logic, had somebody on Twitter talking about Brendan Gant trying to plant seeds. First of all, bro, the man was on campus, a part of the team. The whole time he was making his decision, when DMAC was like recruiting these guys, if Brandon Gant wanted to plant a seed, Brandon Gant could have planted a seed ages ago. You think Brandon Gant just found out he was leaving to Colorado the day before he decided to go? Brandon Gant knew where he was going when he hit the portal. Like someone said earlier, the majority of these guys, when they hit the portal, they know exactly where they're already going. Put it like this. I don't think Brandon Gant hits the portal unless he knows Colorado accepts him, because there's not a huge market for Brandon Gant, if we're being honest. There's no knock on Brandon Gant. I'm just being honest with you. But this notion that he was trying to plant a seed and get a guy to come to Colorado, bro, he could have did that in his DMs. You do that behind the scenes. You really think that because he said, you know what to do, he was trying to tell this man to come to Colorado? I think that was really stupid last night, what happened on Twitter. But I just wanted to get you guys' take. I don't know if anybody else was aware of it. I just was curious about what some of y'all's takes was. Fans made Gant delete his tweet. Y'all cold for that. People are drama queens, man. LOL, goofy as hell. As an FSU fan, we have to stop treating assumptions. We have to stop. Let me tell you one of the things I hate the most, Tyler, because I don't do this. I've even made it a point, like, I don't even like to follow a lot of these kids on Twitter, because grown men tweet watch these teenagers' social media accounts and make major assumptions off of eye emojis, off of, bro. I won't use. Jordan Travis could tweet, "I'm tired tonight," And Twitter would go in a frenzy because a bunch of grown men would be like, what is he tired of? Is Jordan Travis thinking about transferring? Oh my God, FSU, get your stuff together. What's wrong with QB1? It's like, bro, the bros might be, he's tired. That's literally what people do. People react to tweets as if they tweet 24/7 about football. We forget that these young men do other things like, I don't know, have relationships, have hobbies. Like, they do more than just play college football. And I really have an issue with it. But what can you do, right? Except I just don't engage in that. They said Gant was talking to Marcus and Douglas. No, I'm not going to give you a goddamn dime. I tell you what, though, Johnny Buckets, I'll make a deal with you, though. If Dustin Hill plays in the LSU game. Oh, yeah, man. Congratulations, Miami, y'all. Y'all going to the Eastern Conference Finals, y'all. If Dustin Hill plays in the LSU game, though, I'll send you a shirt. Polk fans habitually take the glass half empty pessimistic. Most negative view of every situation. Tired of it. But see, it's not even the media, bro. It's just people. I'm on Twitter. I think if you understand that it's BS, I think you can make your way. I think you can have a fully functional Twitter experience. But you have to understand that 90% of what you see on Twitter is absolutely garbage. And everything else is pure entertainment. That's the way I look at it. Pure entertainment. The person that was after Micah actually wasn't a 247 writer. He actually, I think he works for On3, I think, and he actually is one of the co-hosts of one of the probably most popular Florida State podcasts. So I don't really need to say their name because if you know, the guy who went back and forth with Micah Pittman. I said Micah Parsons. Micah Pittman is actually a part of one of the longest standing FSU podcasts and probably the biggest FSU podcast out there. If we play the Buffs this year, you think we win? If we play the Buffs, okay. So let's play a good hypothetical here. I'm glad you asked this one, Nick. Though I think this is a good one. The players that they're counting on, especially on defense. Think about this for a second, right? Colorado's going to count on D-Mac to be what? A 5'6" sack guy? You think our offensive line will have to block Derek McClendon? I think so. What do you think they're getting out of a redshirt freshman in Bishop Thomas, who wasn't even really going to crack our rotation this year? You think they're getting anything out there? Nah, probably not. Gant played rotation linebacker for us, but he was more of a special team guy. If you're telling me you're going to start Gant you think Gant once one of our O-line get to the second level, you think Gant can fight off a block from Casey Roddick or Byers or Jones or Meach or Mo for that matter? Yeah, probably not. And I'm not trying to be mean, but is Travis Jay going to be academically eligible? We saw Amarion Cooper. Is he going to get his step back? Bro, on a serious tip, we would beat Colorado by at least 28. They can't block us. No one on that O-line can block anybody on our defensive line. They ain't got nobody that's going to cover Johnny Wilson, and we'll probably be able to run like we did against Miami. We'll probably be able to run counter Trey on them all day and just Jordan Travis throw the ball 12 times and we just run the rest of it. Like seriously, no. Buffalo doesn't have, and I'm looking at the game and I'm doing this too, but Buffalo doesn't have. They don't have the horses to play that game, bro. See, I'm betting y'all, and I ain't got nothing to lose here, right? I mean, I don't have anything to gain here. What am I getting in return for these bets? You think Dustin Hill will score twice in the first 3 games? Okay, bet. I'll take the bet. But I want something in return. You want a shirt? What do I get? What do I get? Congratulations to the Heat, man. If that game was to happen, of course it'd be much anticipated. You're talking about Deion Sanders coaching against his alma mater. Absolutely. That's a huge game. That's absolutely a huge game. A huge game. Colorado goes 6-6. That's an amazing season, in my opinion, Johnny. If he's able to go 6-6. Good point. Yeah. If I'm gonna give y'all a man, them shirts cost. If I get it, let's make the bet then. Johnny Buckets. That's a good one, Blackshear. I like that. Born Legacy, Tim. If Dustin Hill does not score 2 touchdowns in the first 3 games, you owe me a $30 donation. And same thing with you, Johnny Buckets. I don't. What was your stipulations? I forget. If Dustin Hill plays in the LSU game, you owe me $20. Johnny, I'll give you a shirt, and you owe me $20 in donations if Dustin Hill does not play. How about that? I'm with that. The game ain't done yet, but the game over, bro. The game over. I actually got some new ones coming, and I got some new designs coming too. So I want to let y'all see those, but I'm giving them out, bro. Y'all let me I'll let you know when they get here, and my plan is to give anybody that's been a member, because I owe my members, point blank period. I owe my members. If you've been a member for this on this channel from the jump, I'm sending you a shirt. No charge. I owe my members. I'll probably send you a shirt of each design. I got this one. I actually got 2 more designs, but you probably get. I'll let you pick one of the 3, 2 of the 3 designs, probably. But I definitely owe my members. So I'm definitely getting these shirts out here. If y'all like, most people, these shirts got a good reception. I think y'all like the other ones that are coming out too. I think y'all like those. And that one's in November. I would like to go to that, Mr. Maurice. I think me and Terrence are going to try to make our way for the LSU game for sure. Don't know about the Miami game though. Bro, but you said Dustin Hill was gonna play in the LSU game. So what are we doing? If Dustin Hill doesn't, so that means I'm changing my bet. So that means I'm not gonna bet you. I'm not gonna give you a shirt if Dustin Hill plays in the LSU game. Let's have the same bet. So if Dustin Hill doesn't score by Clemson, you'll donate 20 and I'll give you a shirt. Or we can go to the original bet, and if he plays against LSU, I can give you a. Come on, what do you want to do? I'll let you pick, but it's one of those 2. Yeah, so for subscribers, I'll let y'all know once I get them. I want y'all to see the designs, and then I will let y'all know a price and all of that. But I got to take care of the members first. I got to take care of that's no knock on the subscribers. I love everybody that subscribes and supports me. I'm not going to lie. But the members first, Jeff, because Jeff donates every live stream multiple times. And then Chris, who hasn't been in here tonight. I don't know where you at, Chris. Where you at? But Chris Robinson, Orlando on the check, and he also donates pretty much every live stream. So I got to take care of the guys that take care of me. Huge shot from Brunson. I still don't think we pull it off, but it's a 3-point game with 3 minutes left, y'all. Holy cow. Absolutely, Terrell. I know a lot of people support Tyler. Support. I got a lot of guys, man. I just got to make sure we take care of. Damn it! See, every time, Jimmy buckets. Greetings, Raymond James. Hopefully, we will meet up at Chris and Big. I was at I was at the last one, Raymond. I know we linked up at the last one, right? In Orlando. And RJ Barrett with the turnover, man. Again, guys, if you're a Miami Heat fan, congratulations. You know, I'm trying to have faith, but bro, this crap is over. This game is over. Absolutely over. We just do dumb stuff down the stretch. And RJ with another turnover. What else we got, y'all? What's the best case scenario, I guess, man, for Dustin Hill? Is the best case scenario special teams? I mean, let's see. You got Johnny Wilson. If you get Coleman, that's incredible. I'm not going to count Coleman, so I'm not going to count that chicken till it hatches, so to speak. So as of right now, I think Johnny, I think wide receiver 2 is probably who? Tron. And I think Winston Wright is in their slot. That would probably be the three wide receivers. Then of course you got Jaheim Bell, who can probably line up at some receiver if they needed him. They could probably put Jaheim Bell in the slot if you need him to. A lot of different things you can do with Jaheim, obviously. Ton of weapons, bro. It's honestly a ton of weapons. Like, not only honestly, you need you don't need Dustin Hill to give you anything. So I kind of understand why everybody's like, man, special teams, because offensively, man, you don't need Dustin Hill to give you anything. You don't need Dustin Hill to really play receiver for you, because you don't even know if you have enough footballs for Morlock, Jaheim Bell, Marcus, and Douglas. I think all three of those tight ends see plenty of snaps. You don't know if you have enough footballs for Johnny Wilson, Winston Wright, Ja'Kai Douglas, Kentron Portier. Do you get anything out of Darian Williamson if you're talking about him? You don't know if you have enough footballs for all the running backs. You know Toafili's going to be out wide sometimes. Keziah Holmes, Trey Benson, Rodney Hill, CJ. You don't need Dustin Hill. And I ain't even mentioned Vendarius Jacobs or Hakeem Williams, some of the freshmen. Goldie Lawrence is still yet to come into this wide receiver room. Like, we forget that we are bringing in another receiver on top of Dustin Hill and maybe Keon Coleman. And then you bring in a embarrassment of riches from Florida State on that offensive side of the ball for sure. What? No, I don't owe $20 if he puts Payson on his jersey. What the hell? Best case, if he's our primary return man and he gets snaps halfway through the season. Okay. I know FSU is in good shape right now, but what do you think the impact would be if y'all hired Coach Prime? Look, when Deion Sanders is a brand, is what I've talked about, man, when I talked about Colorado. And what I've talked about when I talk about HBCUs and people talking about I mean, I've talked about this before. people say Deion Sanders laid the blueprint for HBCUs, and no, he did not, because no one is Deion Sanders, and no one can do what Deion Sanders does. For that alone, he brings that. We're only down 6, y'all. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we need to hit a 3 here to make me feel any kind of good. The initial impact. See, we just can't hit shots, man, when we need to. I think it would be like how Willie Taggart when he first got hired, but like ×2 and all that hype. It'd be like that. So everything outside of football, and then the recruiting aspect of it would be great. The problem is when games start to get played. Like this Deion thing is great. I'm telling you guys, when Colorado plays game, like I don't know if y'all have peeped Colorado's roster, but you realize they have Colorado has 3 scholarship running backs on the roster. That's it. That's it on the entire roster. 3. Colorado has, I think, 13 offensive linemen. That sounds like a good number, except 5. You need 5 guys to actually play. FSU's been there. Do you think you have another 5 guys that can actually play behind them? You probably don't. You probably got 5 to 6 to 7 good guys on that offensive line in that depth chart, and then a bunch of filler dudes. They don't have a lot of depth, and I think Deion would have a big media impact, but again, once the games got played, bro, I think very similar to Willie, I think that thing would go awry very quickly. He's a bit of both. He does a little bit of everything. Terrell says, do you see Deion staying in college football for longer? Even no, I've said that before. I think that's the whole reason why he's assembled Colorado the way he's assembled it. Because I don't think there's any plans to stay past Shadur. I think once Shadur's gone, he's gone. Because if the plan was to be at Colorado 4 or 5, 6 years, you don't purge 54 scholarships. You build a little at a time. So then by the time you're in year 3 or 4, you've got a complete roster of guys. When you purge your roster by 54 out of an 85-man roster, that is telling me that you're trying to get the biggest turnaround as quick as possible. I think once Shadur's gone, I think he's out of there. I think that's Johnny makes a decent point here. I think that's another thing that I don't know works at Florida State. Florida State isn't Colorado, right? They haven't been irrelevant for the last 30 years. Florida State isn't Jackson, where they have never been relevant, right? Florida State is Florida State. It's not just going to be all about Deion. Again, man, congratulations to the Heat. Y'all going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I just want Heat fans to keep that energy because I'm watching this game. And after game, I think it was game 2, where the Heat fans blamed the refs. I don't know how you watch that play right there and tell me this man didn't get fouled 3 times on that play. So just keep the same energy y'all kept after game 2, Miami fans. Whoops. I really don't want him to coach here. I dislike how everything revolves around him. Obviously, right? His son would be the quarterback. I will never say another word about Deion. I had so many FSU fans mad at me. Came to his defense. Well, the difference is, Chris, I respect you, but I don't care about FSU fans. We got such a fickle what's the word? We have a fan base that does nothing but. I want to say this the right way without saying what I want to say. We've got a bunch of bandwagon fans in terms of they just grasp to what's popular. I don't get along with a lot of the fan base, man, because they're gullible, naive, and I don't really care. Everybody here, though, I love you. I think I got one of the best chats on social media, on YouTube, content wise. I think we have good conversations here for sure, for sure. But some of those FSU fans I interact with on Twitter, they don't know a football. They don't know a football from a rugby ball. They don't even know ball half the time. So I can care less about making a FSU fan mad. Those FSU kids will lose all their eligibility by then. Why New York? I'm not from there. Originally, yeah. So I was actually born in New York, but I moved from New York when I was like 2 or 3, right? So I don't remember ever living there. Then we moved to Florida, where I was raised. But I'm a Knicks fan because my dad is a Knicks fan. And growing up, that was the team that my dad liked, so that's the team I liked. And so I stuck with them, even though we've been trash. I stuck with them ever since. So that's why I'm a Knicks fan. Yeah, I imagine it until the games get played. Go Noles, brother. There you go, Damien. Damien knows. Damien's on Twitter with me. He knows what I'm talking about. Go Noles, brother. Go Noles. Agreed. I think FSU's going to have a damn good class this year. Absolutely. That is 100% truth. Just as there's FSU fans that hate on Prime because they can't let go of Travis Hunter. I honestly think that's the only reason why they hate him, because they can't let go of it. And there's just as many rooting for him. I hate to be like, I don't know, predictable, I guess. Man, we're actually still in this game somehow, bro. It's a 2-point game, bro. We're actually in this game. But what I was about to say is, objectively speaking, I have been supported of Dion, but I gotta criticize what has to be criticized. I have to. And his handling of Colorado, I can't justify it. I've just never seen it. And if he can make it work, he can make it work. You feel me? But I just can't justify Colorado. That was a bad decision by Jalen Brunson, man. You can't make that pass, bro. It happens. It happens. I can't knock Brunson because he's the only reason why we're even here. You feel me? But yeah, you can't make that pass, Brunson. Come on, bro. I don't even know what you were looking at. You just got yourself in trouble and you panicked.
Yes.
I can confidently say that Dion will never coach at FSU, even if I agree with that. Should be the Heat? No. If anything, I would root for the Magic. Tracy McGrady was my favorite. He's my favorite basketball player ever, really. So if anything, if it wasn't the Knicks, it would probably be the Magic, which isn't really much better because the Magic always suck. So I've been a Noles fan, bruh, since I was definitely a kid, since I was 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. Here my statement with HBCUs and Dion. HBCU is the whole mess and disorganization, period. I go to one and I want to transfer out. He called them out for their mess. That's it. he no good to he no god to HBCUs done. My problem with Deion Sanders and HBCUs is he made a big deal about no players getting drafted from there. You took the you were part of the problem. You know, I know people don't like to hear this, bro. You can't complain about the NFL not. First of all, the NFL don't give a damn. If you didn't watch the draft, what the first 3 quarterbacks off the board were all black. How many players were even selected before the first white player got taken? I don't quite recall, but come on, out of 32 teams, 30, 25 of them were probably black players. The NFL don't give a damn if you play at Jackson, Howard, Chukwuemeka State. They don't care about that, bro. Let's keep it. The NFL don't care where you play. If you can play, the NFL will find you and they will give you a job. Deion Sanders is part of the problem, though. Why HBCUs don't have any players getting drafted. You didn't stay. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's a 4-point game. He had a chance to get his son drafted from Jackson State, to get Travis Hunter drafted from Jackson State. This nigga shot an air ball. God damn. This motherfucker shot an air ball. Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, congratulations. I'm about to let me turn this game off. That game's over. He had a chance to get his kids drafted from there. And you chose instead to leave, which is your right. You have a right to leave. But then you leave and you take all the talented players that Jackson had and you make, and I'm not going to say make, but you get them to come to Colorado. So then how can you complain that the reason the NFL should be ashamed of themselves when you took all the talent? Everybody was looking forward to seeing the Jackson State get those players drafted. And you took it all. You took your son, you took Hunter, Coleman, the wide receiver that he got. He didn't go with Deion, but when Deion left, he left too. If Deion would have stayed, I'm pretty sure Holman stays. Like, you took all those players you took with you, or they left because you left. You didn't stay and see the mission through and get these guys drafted. How can you be a hypocrite, so to speak, and call it the NFL? That's my issue with Deion. As far as Jackson, I think Jackson, Mississippi owes him a lot because he brought a lot of attention to them. He funneled a lot of money in there. I'll never say anything bad about what he did for Jackson, Mississippi. But when we're talking about players getting drafted, Deion plays a part in why he didn't get or why that didn't happen. He plays a part in that. He plays a major part in that. And if he can't understand that, or if people that support him can't understand that and don't want to put the bias to the side and say, you know what, you're right, there's no point of even having a conversation about it anymore, quite honestly. Yeah, Miami, with a game over now, Montre. So if Colorado kept the same team as last year and failed like people think he would, what would be the difference? He definitely deserves at least a year. It's not about Maurice. It's not about him strictly talking Colorado. It's not about him having players leave. I'm not against him bringing in his own guys and transitioning guys out. Fit to the tune of 50, bro. We're just talking basic. This isn't NCAA, bro. This isn't Madden. You can't get rid of 50 players and think you're going to just get 50 players back of equal or better. You still have to field a scout team, bro. You still have to field a roster of 2 or 3 deep. I mean, this is football. Injuries happen. That's my issue. I have no problem with him getting rid of players and bringing in his own guys per se and upping the talent level at Colorado. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is you're doing it at such a ridiculous rate that there's no Deion, he's gonna handicap himself because he's not gonna field a full 85-man roster. I don't believe by August. I don't see it. If he can, congratulations to him. And even if he can, how many of those guys are just guys sitting in the portal because no other team wants them? Let's be honest. He just recently took back a kid. I think he was a edge player that was been in the portal that nobody wanted, that they kicked out, and now he's back on the team. He just recently took this guy back. I think it happened this week. I think a lot of that is about to happen, where he's just gonna have to take guys back to fill out a roster that because they're sitting in the portal and nobody cares. No squad says keeping 100. Process fact. Vontae B says bingo. Deion could care less about HBCUs. He went there only for him to thrive and to coach himself. He could care less about the community. He deserves at least 3, says Tyler. Colorado wasn't a talent dump because he's still getting reserves and unproven guys. It was a mindset turnover. It was time to change the mentality of always losing. You know, again, I don't buy into that. Is losing a mentality? Sure. But again, I go back to Duke has a mentality of losing a lot of games. Elko didn't get rid of 50 players. TCU, I think, won 4 games before Dykes got there and went to the national championship. He didn't have to get rid of 50 players. Like, if you want to say that he had to get rid of some senior guys, sure. But the dude was getting rid of freshmen. He was getting rid of redshirt freshmen. Those guys aren't tainted by losing. They are still learning. They're still developing. They can still be molded. You know, to the tune of 50, bro, I just don't. Again, this ain't NCAA, bro. This ain't Madden. It just doesn't work that way. Coach Prime sold JSU a bag of goods, and then he pulled the roster there. That's why 80% of FSU fan base is upset. I think 80% of them are still upset about Hunter, but I hear you. I agree with you. Thank you, Terrell. He took the talents because he couldn't have the kids there that made no promises to. He took the talent because he couldn't have the kids there that he made promises to. Miss Maurice, I know you're a Deion guy, bro. I know. But again, I just want you to address him criticizing the NFL. Like, address that. One of the best takes I've heard of him leaving Jackson than calling out NFL when he was the issue. I appreciate you, Chris. It just because it is what it is. It's the honest to God truth. You can't call out NFL, again, a league that could care less about, like, even the black quarterback stigma that's been around for years. At some point, we got to even stop that. I don't think that Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, you just drafted CJ Stroud and Bryce, bro. NFL's littered with black quarterbacks, right? So you can't call out that league that now the face of the league, the faces of franchises are now black, and say they should be ashamed for not drafting from HBCUs like they give a damn, and you left that, and then took the talent with you. Cool, you want to leave to Colorado? Cool, leave. Tell your son to stay at Jackson. I bet you won't do that. Tell Travis Hunter to stay at Jackson. You weren't going to do that. Let's just keep it honest. Here's my opinion. I believe these athletes can make it to the NFL by working hard, grinding, and doing it. It doesn't matter. Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, that's the fact. The problem with HBCUs is you spoke about the funding. We know that those universities need a lot of help. And so, like, even Master P spoke about it. I think one of his sons was attending, I think it was Tennessee State. I forget, but he was playing basketball. And he spoke on it like, man, we got to go. Because my son's not getting the same development here. The facilities ain't the same. The gyms ain't the same. The weight room. We would love to support this, but my son's future is at stake. We can't stay here. And I understand that. You know, I understand that. And that's a deeper seated issue that HBCUs as a whole are going to have to solve, right? But don't blame the NFL because there's no talent in the league. Where's the talent? This isn't like it was 40, 50 years ago when there was the Steve McNairs and these guys. I think Warren Moon, like that was different. Do you see the money that Georgia can spend on recruiting? Do you see the money that Florida State, Miami? If I'm a top athlete, why would I go to an HBCU? If we're being honest, the only reason Travis Hunter goes there is for Deion. How rare is that? So the talent level is just not going to be there. You're going to have to get guys that grind it out the mud, and even those guys. I mean, you look at Jared Verse. He goes to Albany and then he blows up, and now he dips because why would he stay there when he can go to Florida State, cash his own little NIL bag while he's still in college, and raise his profile by being at a school like Florida State? Chris, my man, finally showed up. My boy Chris. Orlando on the check-in like always. What up, POLK Heat? Man, that's why Chris commented. Shout out to the Heat. They beat him. Again, I didn't think we was going to win Game 6, so it is what it is, man. The Knicks had a good season. I don't care what none of y'all say. We'll be back. We just got to get rid of Julius Randle, sorry ass. Get somebody that actually can play alongside Jalen Brunson and not be a bonehead. We'll be back. The Knicks will be back, man. But shout out to my man, Chris.
Clickety, clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
He criticized the NFL, my opinion, because maybe he feels like he has to speak up because he was a huge advocate when he was there. Not saying I agree, but I think that's what he was doing. Sure. I think on face value, what you're saying isn't wrong. He was there. He feels like he can still have a voice. Got it. The issue is still the issue. Don't say that the NFL isn't drafting players when you take all the talent. Like, that's the issue. Like, at the end of the day, Jackson State was known as the most talented team in the HBCUs for a reason, right? You had these guys, and you took these guys. If you cared that much about changing the perception of the HBCU, let your son, which is what I thought he should have did. I thought Deion should have saw that recruiting class out. That Travis Hunter, that Coleman, that Shadur Sanders, he should have let those guys get drafted. That makes a statement. That invokes the change that we want to change. When Travis Hunter is the 15 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft or whatever from Jackson State, Mississippi. That now you're doing something. When Shadur Sanders is the 10th overall pick quarterback at a Jackson, now you're invoking, you're changing it. Now you really are saying, oh, okay, these boys can now produce talent. He didn't just get a bunch of names. He actually got kids drafted. But you don't see it through. And then in the next year you go, man, NFL, y'all trash. Y'all ain't drafting no HBCU players. Bro, you took them all. And you didn't even think, you didn't let your son stay. You didn't let Travis Hunter stay. It just rings on hollow ears when you got to be the advocate. Your words are very empty when your actions don't match what you're saying. I think that one goes 7, bro. I think Golden State gets it tonight. I think it goes 7. I agree with, so some of that I agree with, cool. Like, it's the same thing I said about Ed Reed when he took the Bethune job and then went on to bash Bethune on social media, which Ed Reed said he doesn't do the social media thing. Yet he just kept doing the social media thing. Don't y'all know about this stuff before you get there? I agree with that. But I also can understand from the mindset of, well, I'm going to support this and see if we can make some change. But if you go to a place and you want to support it, but you don't see any change trying to happen or just stubbornness and money's always this and nobody's really trying to do anything, I can see how you get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the counter argument I would have to that. Like, yeah, you do see the facilities before you go, but maybe you think we can change it. But then once you get in that situation, you have no cooperation to change. So you get fed up and you're like, man, I got to go. Y'all, I came here to help you change. And that could very well be what Deion went through at Jackson State. I'm not denying that. Yeah, and that's basically what I'm alluding to. When you go to these places and you get no cooperation, like he's saying, starts with admin, and a lot of these administrations, you know, like you said, are basically crooks. They don't want to. They've been in their comfy positions. They don't want to. They don't want to spend money or whatever the situation. I guess Kevin Coleman wanted to get away from Coach Prime. Otherwise, he would have went to Colorado. Yeah, he went to Louisville. Um, am I preaching, bro? Appreciate it. I'm just, just the stuff that I've been saying. You know. So I've been following this Colorado situation very close since day one when he was hired. If you listen to a lot of the kids he got to Colorado, they said they were offered at JSU. I think they said they were offered at JSU. I think he left. Are you trying to say that they were offered, regardless of really, honestly, man, if what you're trying to say, whether they were offered by JSU or not, once he left, have you seen JSU have the same? Bro, no one's even talking about JSU since he's left. Again, because he's Deion Sanders. JSU can offer all the 5-star talent they want. No one's going there. Surferboy says you can't generalize like that. I think what he's saying is holds weight. I think maybe it's not every admin Surferboy. But like you said, it's a general statement. I think when you talk to most people that attended or have attended or currently attend an HBCU, a lot of the same stories get put out there about admin not playing ball, from sports to just like upgrading campus and putting money where money needs to be put. Like a lot of the same stories come from those HBCUs, if we're being honest. I don't think Terrell's out alone with what he's saying. I think most people that attended these universities say the same thing, as admin is extremely hard to work with. I've heard it before, I guess is what I'm saying. It's all about the funding at HBCUs. Look at Prairie View's facilities. They are world class, like a mini Texas A&M. I never seen Prairie View, but again, I think when we're talking in general, is Prairie View the minority or the majority? It's like generally, we're talking the majority, right? Like Howard is different than Jackson or man, there's so many HBCUs. Some that just you don't even know the names of, but Grambling and these other ones they're different. They're in a different kind of league maybe than some of these other guys. So, I'm not. It's not that you're wrong, Surfer Boy. Like obviously, there's good administrations at some schools. I think it's just overall probably Terrell's more on point, just from what I've heard talking to other people that went to other HBCUs. People talking about JSU ban more than anything. I think I'm lying. Look at those YouTube views. It's the level of competition that's the issue. From a football standpoint, I disagree, man. I hate to keep disagreeing with you, bro, but the competition level's no good because the funding's no good because the administrations are no good. Where's the HBCU TV deals? I remember last year watching FAMU in Jackson State, and it was a terrible game, but I still watched, right? Do y'all think we see any HBCUs televised like that this year? Probably not, And why is that? Well, there's probably a lot of reasons for that. Is level of competition one? Sure. But it all starts with the money grab or, with the money. And until they figure that point out, until they can put on a competitive product, until they can attract the big names. Because I think these kids want to play at these schools. Again, I think that's what Dion was selling when he was there. I think kids want to play at these schools. Kids would love to go to Grambling, but until they get the financials right, you're just not going to see it. Bro, I'm a 3.66 GPA scholar studying CS. I know my talent's being wasted there. On God for this. That sucks to say, though. And what school do you go to, Terrell? See, the thing is, I would love, I want you to stay. We need more. But like you saying, you're there. You're in the weeds. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Let me put it to you like this. You know your experience, Terrell. And, you just want, I don't know, bro. It's tough. It's tough to talk about it because you don't want to, you want these HBCUs to be put on the same level as these predominantly white institutions. But the facts become the facts. And even a person like you who's there and it's your experience, you even know, I'm here, but is my degree, when I graduate here, is my degree going to be looked at the same as a degree from Georgia? Probably, we just being honest about it, Why not go after all of you J players after they're all 2 times better champs, right? This is my idea. I think, see, the issue is, I really don't think it's as personal as people want to make it, but I do think, obviously, there are some ties, and I think, shout out to Travis Hunter. I think he kind of set he was the first player to do this out of the box, and I think some of these guys okay, let me go play for Dion and see. Kids see. Let me tell you something about today's new age athlete, today's new age young child. The likes and the interaction is more important than the results. You're just keeping it a beam with you. These kids care more about the Instagram live views, the likes on the Twitter page, the followers, the subscribers, whatever, than they care about actually going to Colorado and winning games. Because if they cared, Travis J, Omarion Cooper, these boys don't leave Florida State. They know good and damn well Colorado's not going to win as many games. But what they do know is that they're going to go to Colorado and they're going to be in the limelight. They're going to be on Shedeur Sanders' Instagram. They're going to be on Travis Hunter's Instagram. They are going to get exposure. They're going to be linked to Deion Sanders. That's what they know. They stay at Florida State. It's business as usual. You're not the biggest star on the team. That's reserved for Jordan Travis and a Jarrett Verse. Those are the guys that's going to get the spotlight at FSU. You go up there, though. It's not that you are going to get it's not that you're the big name there, but everything around Colorado is so social media driven. You're bound to get more exposure just because you're at Colorado and it's Deion Sanders. Is what I'm saying make sense? That's true. So it's no surprise that it's changed, right? Money drives these kid decisions. Parents also, the generation wants the bag for their family. HBCUs can't compete financially. It is what it is. I do think it's personal for Deion. He clearly targets FSU. It's clear. I don't think it's as personal as we think. But I do think it's easy to pick on some of our guys that, again, when you're looking for playing time, maybe you're looking for some exposure, you can go play for Deion. But I could be wrong, and it could be extremely personal for Deion Sanders, and he could purposely be doing it. I don't know how he profits off of signing Travis J, who hasn't played 2 out of the 4 years he's been here due to grades. Bishop Thomas, redshirt freshman, who I think he had his potential, but I don't know if he's ready right now. Marion Cooper, who again has lost a step that he couldn't afford to lose, and I think they're playing him at corner over there. Good luck with that. In the Pac-12, and and then Travis J. Oh, no, I already said Travis J. Brendan Gant, who's not a real linebacker. So if you're telling me this guy's going to play 400 snaps at backer and be your starter, again, good luck with that. What's the score? Lakers better win though, because if they got to go back to Golden State, it ain't that. That's not gonna happen. 27-10. Oh man, Lakers jumped out like my Knicks jumped out. My Knicks jumped out like this. Oh, Clay, you got to hit that shot. I agree, Polk. I appreciate the comment. You said just a while ago it starts with a F. But I am being careful because FSU and this school have beef. And me cheering FSU is an issue. Race thing, sadly. Fair enough. Fair enough. I got you. I know where you at. I agree, bro. But how many UJ players are they hunting? Probably none of them. I definitely think back channeling is a factor. You guys got good points, bro. You guys got good points about like, I get it, and you're probably not wrong. It maybe is more personal than I want to believe. Maybe it is. I can't really debate you because all of FSU's portal guys are going to Colorado. I just think it's an easy transition to go play for Dion if you're, a Florida State guy who Dion's always going to be linked to Florida State, and Florida State's always going to be linked to Dion. What's up, Fatal Jedi? Bro, Coach Brian Pope does have that Trump gene. He's nice. That's true. If that makes any sense. No, I get what you're saying. A lot of people believe that too. Like FSU didn't give him the job, fired his friend Willie. This is all revenge. I feel it. And I understand it. I don't know if I wholeheartedly agree with it, but I understand exactly what y'all are saying. These kids like that at every program. Everybody who hit the portal for us went to Colorado. True. I don't think it's personal, but these kids see the FSU historical archives and the swag he bought. Now they see it at Colorado. Of course, they will want to go there. Terrell, you're always welcome to transfer to FSU. What's up, John? Are you following the women's softball team? No, but I know they're playing very well, if I'm not mistaken. But I have not really been following, if I'm being quite honest with you. Yeah, I agree there. I think Dion didn't like being publicly turned down. I agree. I don't disagree. I just feel like maybe y'all are right, bro. Y'all are probably right. The more I think about it, the more y'all are probably right. Like, there are other safeties. Like, Travis J isn't even like one of the better safeties in the portal. Is he? Is he really? I don't know. You could have went after Key. If you could have went after this FIU safety that's in the portal. You could go after the same guy we going on. Like, yeah. So I think you guys make decent points, So Travis J, again, I do wish him the best, but I think there's some decent points being made. I want to believe it's not personal. We do we playing for the chip? I didn't know that. I knew we were playing good. I didn't know we were going to the World Series. I didn't know that. We've had a good softball team for a while though. Right? Yeah, man. So, uh, man, as always, y'all, wow. I think Anthony Richardson, Anthony Davis looked like he just grabbed the ball off the rim. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. I agree. That's been my point the whole time. I know he's not supposed to leave guys in the portal, and he should go after the best players regardless of where they're coming from. I think, though, ambience, I think what people are saying, and it does kind of seem this way, because I agree with your statement wholeheartedly, but it doesn't seem like Colorado's in it for. Why didn't Colorado go after an experienced guy like Jalen Key? Now, maybe Jalen Key just didn't want to entertain Colorado, which is possible. For all I know, maybe Colorado did reach out and he was like, "No, I'm good." But Dion's who we say Dion is. How come he couldn't get no traction with Key? Why doesn't it seem like he trying to get Coleman up there to Colorado? It seems to me, or I think what people are saying, it does seem like he's not really targeting anybody else. It seems as if once Florida State players had, I don't know. It seems like he's specifically targeting Florida State guys. I think that's what they're saying. But again, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Um, our baseball team is trash, John. We started off really good though, which is crazy. But our pitching hasn't been good this year. I think Link could turn it around, but might just take a while. Coach Prime is going after Lester. I'm not worried about. Honestly, I think no. I might be in the minority on this one. I think Dion's high school recruiting is going to take a big dip. Personally, I don't see his high school recruiting. Um, Now, if he has a chance to prove me wrong, but I don't. The product he's going to put on the field is going to be tough for high schoolers to swallow. That's what I think, but we'll see. Damien says, "Watch out, bro. If he gets it, I'm going to. I don't know what I'm going to do." He says, "All right, I'm gonna get crucified by FSU fans for this. First of all, that is a no-brainer. No squad. Forget about Urban Meyer personally. If you take a step back, okay, Urban Meyer is one of the greatest coaches of this generation. That's not debatable. Like it was Urban, it was Nick and Urban. Like they were 1A, 1B in my opinion. I think Urban Meyer is if Nick Saban is the greatest coach of this generation, then Urban Meyer is second. That just is what it is. What he did at Florida was incredible. Then he goes to Ohio. What he did at Utah and Bowling Green was incredible. Let's just keep it a beam, okay? The problem with Urban is no consistency with him. He goes to a place, he burns that place out fairly quick, and then he's got to move on. That's just the thing with Urban. But from recruiting, development, Urban Meyer is unparalleled except for Nick Saban. So, of course, you would take Urban Meyer over Deion Sanders. Zion, that was 2 years ago. That has nothing to do with what's going on now. That's my point. I think I think again. I think when they see what he does on the field, I'm not worried about Colorado. I'll be worried about Colorado if they win 6 or 7 games though. If he makes a bowl game, you might want to worry about Colorado. But I'm with you right now. I'm not worried about Colorado. Not on the high school trail. Yeah, that's basically what I just said. If he can win 6 games, then it gets dangerous. It gets dangerous. It gets dangerous. But if he can't win games, if he's 2, 3, 4 games, you good luck asking kids to not only come there and lose a bunch of games, but come to a place where there's a blizzard in late April, early May. Like, come on, bro. Like we just watched a spring game a couple weeks ago. It was a blizzard there. Ooh, excuse me. Texas at that same time, it's 80 degrees. I didn't say he burnt OSU to the ground. I said he burns out, meaning he burns his time out. Hold on. Oof. No, he didn't burn OSU to the ground, meaning his time just burns out. He wears on the administration, the fan base. He wears on people in an organization fairly quickly. He wins games, but he burns out quick. I'm with you on that, Tyler, but we'll see. We'll see. But come on, man. What y'all want to wrap up with? Are we going on a 2 hour and 30? I still got a little bit left in me. Got a little bit left in me, y'all. What's the last? We spent a lot on Dion, more than I did not come on here expecting to talk about Dion, but y'all wanted to talk about him. So again, hit the like button. This is the most interactive channel on YouTube. When it comes to talking Florida State football, college football, this is what we do. And a lot of times, y'all pick the topics, and I just answer questions or give my opinions and takes on the topic. So what y'all want to close out on, man? If you're new around here, this is what you get. This is what you get on a regular basis. Trying to tell you, man. There's one thing to go play in the cold. There's another thing to go play in the cold and lose. Can't do that. Can't do that. No, he's bigger than Rashad ever thought about being. Dustin Hill looks like he's already legit 6 foot 6'1", at least 195. He looks more 200 pounds. No, he's bigger than Rashad Green ever thought about being. Doesn't mean he's going to be a better player. That's a tall task. But no, I don't see the Rashad Green comp. Somebody said it, and the best comp for him is the Jamar Chase. Who's the next safety after that? Another after a DB at a University of Texas, San Antonio. Forget his name. So we'll see what happens with that. Hey, I basically answered that one. How do you think the addition of Dustin Hill is for the future? Again, I don't think there's an immediate impact. But if he sits this year or whatever, he gets his feet up under him. You're talking about next year. There's no more Johnny Wilson, probably, right? I think probably, if we're being honest, Kentron Portier either balls out this year and goes to NFL, or he's probably pushed out next year just because you got Hakeem, Dustin Hill, Vandarius Jacobs, Goldie Lawrence, on top of maybe a few other guys from the portal or something like that. Dustin Hill's going to be pivotal for the future of the program. Absolutely. Absolutely pivotal. Well, Golden State's, they came back, so we'll see. I think Clay just missed another one. When you going to go back to the T2I show and give them, I don't know, man. T2I hasn't done the Friday show lately, so I don't know what's going on. I'm sure whenever he wants to get that back going, I'm down to do it. I'm down to get it cracking whenever he's ready. I don't know if he's been busy, man. Clay Thompson is tripping. That weather in Boulder is a recruiting hurdle for sure. They've been lying about how it feels out there because they know. Because again, if you're telling me I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna win the Pac-12 and I'm gonna compete, sure, I'll go up there and be cold for that. But I ain't going all the way up there to lose, 8, 9, 10 games a year and be cold, man. You crazy? I ain't going out there for that. No, sir, not me. Hey, Polk, who do you think makes the college football playoffs upcoming season? I think we have a legit shot. I do not see us as a playoff team right now. We are too thin in the back end of our defense. I need us to get some depth there before I can go that far. And I need to see if another edge player can emerge. Obviously, wow, what is going on with Golden State? Obviously, I like Pat and Verse. I was not impressed by Edmonds in the spring. That doesn't mean he won't be good. He could have just been whatever. I don't know. Getting used to playing. There's a lot of things that could have been the case with Gilbert Edmond. But he didn't look impressive in the spring. Byron Turner and Dante Anderson did look impressive, but does that translate to the actual game? I don't know. And then it remains to be seen what Jaden Jones is. It remains to be seen what he gives you. He's built like the part. He's all of 6'6", 6'5", 240 or whatever they list him as. So he's built that way. But is he going to play? And can he play effectively? I believe defense wins championships, and I believe our defense is decent. I don't know if we're deep enough to really be a team that you would say is a playoff team or a legit contender. We can still make the playoff because the ACC is not strong. Basically, you beat Clemson, you make the playoff. But to actually make some noise in the playoff, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we're there. I don't think we're there. We might be a year, and it sucks because Jordan Travis is going to give you the best shot. But if we were just a little deeper at certain positions, I would be a lot more confident in saying that. To answer your question, as of right now, May, got to go Georgia. I mean, they're the back-to-back champs. So until someone beats Georgia, I'm going Georgia. I'm gonna go Ohio State. I'm gonna say USC. I think USC gets in there. I'm gonna say USC and Texas. I think Texas might have the second most talented roster in the country. I think if Sark doesn't make the playoff this year, I think he's in trouble. He's got too much talent on that team. And then USC bringing back the Heisman guy. I would say USC, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia. That'd be my top 4 right now. Man, I would have cut. This stream would have went totally different if Dustin Hill had showed up 250 pounds. Ooh, you talk about killing a kid? Oh, I would have destroyed that kid. I would have destroyed him. I would have destroyed Mike Norvell. I'm just being honest with you. Y'all know me. Let's be very clear. I've said this a million times. Nothing's personal with me, but I am going to criticize when I see it's time to criticize something. You show up 250 pounds as a wide receiver if you want to. Polk, I'll be trying to catch your shows in June from the crib in the Philippines. What you doing out there in the Philippines? Dang, hit my mic. What you doing out there in the Philippines, man? Michigan is another good pick, Johnny Buckets. I can see Michigan for sure. No TCU. No, definitely not TCU this year. I just can't imagine them going to the season without getting a safety, even if it's not a starter. I imagine it's not just safety, but the back end's a big question for me. And again, I just wish we DMAC is a bigger loss maybe than we want to admit. I agree, DMAC isn't that productive, but he did give you a competent body. And you want Jared Verse and you want Patrick Payton. Like you want those guys to be fresh in key critical moments. And DMAC gave you that. Like people forget. I think honestly, bro, I think people forget how much Leonard Warner played for you last year. People forget how many snaps Leonard Warner actually played. Was he a good player? No, not really. Was he able to give your guys rest so they could be fresh when it mattered? I think so. Do we have that? Do we have a Leonard Warner who was he great? No. But could he hold his own? Could he at least be good enough that his side of the field or his assignment didn't completely collapse and give up a big play? Yes. Leonard Warner was able to fill that for you. I don't know if we have that. Again, Gilbert Edmond didn't look that great. I'm assuming he could at least fill in. But do we have a guy who's playing, giving you Leonard Warner minutes, giving you Leonard Warner snaps? I'm not sure. And so for me, that's why, like, when people start talking about playoffs, I want to say playoffs as much as y'all. But I don't think we are playoffs. I agree with No Squad. I think we're a New Year's 16, but I don't see playoffs, man. Not right now. Just being honest with y'all, man. Not right now. You start 4-0, and I might sing a different tune. Some guys step up that we don't foresee. I'm singing a different tune. Remember, I did the whole show of the known knowns and the unknowns and all of that. You know, if Omar Graham all of a sudden becomes, whoa, where'd this guy come from? You know, if you get something that Byron Turner is the real, like if you get some of these guys to actually step up and not only just be rotation guys, but actually be like impact key, then you start having that conversation of being a playoff team. Until then, New Year's 16 ACC contender, ACC favorite, but I don't know if. And again, you could still make the playoffs, but I don't know if you're actually going to make noise in a playoff with the way the roster is currently constructed. Well, that's always going to be a USC. That's always going to be a Lincoln Riley trait. I agree, Zion. But in the Pac-12, he don't need defense. If he can just get through the Pac-12 and score, I'm not saying that they're going to win a natty, but if you get through the Pac-12, you're probably if USC doesn't lose to Utah in the Pac-12 championship last year, they're in the playoff, right? They're in the playoff. So that's all they got to do. Win the Pac-12, and I think USC gets in. And they did add Barrett Alexander, and they did add the Texas defensive lineman Texas A&M, defensive lineman that transferred out of there. They have beefed up their trenches this offseason. USC has done that. If I had to pick a sleeper for the playoff, that's tough. You know what? I just name a team. Utah. If Utah can beat Florida and then just do what they do Utah always has USC's number. Utah has Oregon's number. I mean, you go watch Utah. They're the Pac-12 champs 2 years running, but they lost to Florida. If Utah can just beat Florida, Utah could be a dark horse in the playoff. Utah could be a dark horse in the playoff. Let's do one from every conference just to make it a little better for you, Terrell. But my Pac-12 sleeper would be Utah. My Big 12 sleeper, I think it's Texas. Outside of that, I know TCU came out of there last year, but I don't think TCU repeats any of that. I don't think Oklahoma's ready. I don't know if there's a Big 12 sleeper for me. I I can't think of one, bro. I know UCF and Cincinnati and these guys are maybe Dave Aranda in his what is this his third year at Baylor? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe Baylor could be a sleeper. Maybe. If you go to we did Pac-12, we did Big 12. Let's go to the we'll save the ACC for last since we're in the ACC. SEC sleeper. I don't know if LSU is really a sleeper, so I won't say LSU. Ole Miss always kind of has to be a sleeper because they got Lane Kiffin, and they usually start the season off strong. The problem is they end the season badly, usually. SEC sleeper. Can't go Auburn yet. There's Hugh Freeze's first year. A&M, you know what? Texas. I know people ain't gonna like this. Florida State fans ain't gonna like this. Texas A&M could be a sleeper. Not because I'm a huge Jimbo fan, but they did get Bobby Petrino. And let's be real about it. They got talent. Texas A&M is not lacking talent anywhere on the football field. They have talent. Even with the guys that transferred out, they still are loaded on that football team. If Jimbo can get his head out of his ass and that Petrino is actually calling the offense, A&M could be a sleeper in the SEC. The Big Ten, Michigan, Ohio State are the faves. My sleeper would have to be. I like Nebraska with Matt Rule. I just think that's probably a year or two early, but it's got to be Penn State. Penn State probably on top of Michigan, Ohio State, they're probably the third most talented team in that conference. A couple breaks, you could get Penn State, and then the ACC, Florida State and Clemson are the favorites. I think Florida State's a favorite. Clemson is a close second. After that, good luck. I don't really know. Louisville would have to be, in my opinion, the sleeper in the ACC because their ACC schedule is so weak. They don't play. I don't think they play Clemson or Florida State. So Louisville is right now looking like, your schedule's not tough if you're Louisville. Just take care of business and let Florida State and Clemson beat on each other. Louisville could sneak in that thing. So there's these sleepers. Great point from Tyler right here, though. People, when we start talking about playoff teams and natties, serious. And it's not a knock on Akeem Dent or Shaheem Brown, but if that's your starting safety tandem, bro, do we really think that's, is that natty worthy? Is that playoff? Let's just be honest, And maybe Shaheem Brown takes a huge. I think Akeem Dent kind of is what he is, if we're being honest. Maybe Shaheem Brown makes a step. We'll see. But as of right now in May, I can't say so. I'm just reading y'all comments. What's up, VJ? I know you were gonna come in here with the Go Heat. Shout out the Heat, man. Again, Knicks just need smarter players to make better decisions down the stretch. I think Cam Rising will play, but I hear you. UNC, they got Drake May, but unless that defense gets a complete makeover, I don't see it with USC. Oh, UNC, sorry. Tennessee is an SEC sleeper. Tennessee is interesting to me. They lost some talent, man. They lost I think both of their top two receivers. Obviously, they lost Hendon Hooker. I got a lot of questions for Tennessee. I think A&M is the team. Kansas State's always in the mix, right? Absolutely. Go Dogs. Hey, man, they're back-to-back champs. I can't say anything bad about Georgia. Iowa? Nah, I'll pass on Iowa. Who? Oh man, no squad drunk. He said Miami, y'all. He did say that. Jimbo, man. That's what I'm saying. If Jimbo can get his head out of his ass, A&M can make some noise, but Jimbo might be senile at this point, y'all. I think Penn State is the big Penn State. Sorry, I think they're the Big Ten sleeper. I think they're the Big Ten sleeper. But I want to. No squad said Miami has a lot of talent. Where Miami has some talent. They have a lot of young talent. I will agree there, right? They have a lot of young talent, but that talent ain't gonna be getting them, to the playoff. The only position on Miami's roster, first of all, the only position on Miami's roster that I would want is like Cam Kitchens and them boys. Like that's those are the Miami players I would want. Yeah, but that kid's not a 2024 kid. That kid's a 25 kid. That linebacker y'all talking about. So he wouldn't be a part of this class anyway. So I mean, keep working on him, but he don't affect this class. What's up, Jeffrey? If we get Clemson, we go out and put a 50 burger on everybody. Hope the D can hold them to under 30 points. I like our defense. I question our depth, which sucks. But I actually like our defense. Or at least I question the back end. I think our like the one thing I will say is having a versatile players like Fisk and Briggs help with our defensive end depth. Because I definitely think Fisk and Briggs get some snap at DN for some bigger fronts, like a 5-man front or whatever. Because we got Fisk and Fabo and Jack and Farmer and all them boys up in the D line room is big and nice. Pause. It's the DN room, but I think you can rotate some guys there and fill your front four is good. Period. You're deep there across the board. Your backers, I like my 3 guys. I like Lundy. Lundy has made me a fan of his. I still think he's a situational backer. I don't think he's an every down backer. I don't think he's an NFL backer per se. But situationally, Lundy gets the job done. You just got to protect him. Bethune and Deloach are probably one of the top 2 tandems in the ACC. Clemson has some good backers. And then you got to hope Omar Graham actually takes the step to be competitive. And then preferably one of these young guys. I just don't know about the young guys, though. John, what's up? He says, keep disrespecting my Canes. I hear you, John. I'm not trying to disrespect them. I actually like Cam Kitchens. I would love to have him over here. Not concerned about DB depth. Defense starts up front. I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Defense starts up front, but it is a new age of college football. And it's not as black and white maybe as that used to be. The age-old rule is defense starts up front, and I hear that. But when teams are going 5 wide on you more than they used to, and tight ends are now receivers, I've been convinced that you can build a team from the secondary up. And while I like our corners, I actually think we're pretty good in corners. I worry about the back end. Fuller uses his safeties, y'all. Like y'all been watching Adam Fuller for the last 3 years. You should be aware of how he utilizes safeties. I keep telling people. Last year, Florida State rotated 5. Now Cindy Williams gets hurt, so you start getting more of Jaquez McClellan and Shaheem Brown, and of course you got the 2 starters and Akeem Dent and Jamie Robinson. FSU was routinely using 4 and 5 safeties last year. What does that mean? That means unless they find something, your freshmen are going to be playing a lot of snaps at safety. Fuller uses his safeties, y'all, and he uses them in coverage. He uses him in He uses them in man-to-man situations. He will play 3 safeties. I tell people all the time. Last year, when Shaheem Brown started actually coming on, they were moving Jamie down to that nickel spot, and they would throw Shaheem Brown and Akeem Dent in the back end. Like Fuller likes to do that. So knowing that, I'm concerned. BB says, love the Noles, but UF wore our defense out with the backups. 40-some points. And UF could do nothing against USF and Vandy. I don't see how we will be better than average. I'm assuming he's talking about defense. Did Fabo play against Florida? I don't think he did. Legit question. Not too sure. The front, I think your front makes the difference against Florida. Florida had a great offensive line, and our defensive line couldn't do anything in that game. I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference this year. You know, we were a bad matchup for Florida because their strength, without Fabian Lovett, we knew that interior of the defense didn't stand up. You know. Just scrolling through the comments, y'all. I mean, I like Blake. I'm a big fan of Blake. But we'll see. Wait, what is this? What is that? Y'all beat one team in last season's regular season. Why is no hype so high? I'm guessing that's supposed to mean we beat one ranked team, which would have been LSU. Or I guess one team that finished ranked was LSU. Man, it's the same thing I've been saying, John. You can only win the game, play the games that's on your schedule. Don't get mad because we beat, the teams we beat. I mean, we beat them. Good teams beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Great teams are able to pull an upset. And the all-time teams are just able to blow everybody's doors off. So we were a good team. We beat the teams we were supposed to beat. You return all of that, plus the teams you lost to lose a lot. That's why the hype is what it is. It is what it is. Like I could probably ask you the same question, John. Y'all lost to Middle Tennessee State, Duke, Pitt, Florida State. What's the common denominator on those losses? 45 points is the common denominator in every loss. UNC. What makes y'all think the same thing won't happen this year? Right? See how I can kind of ask you the same exact question? Like, you got blown out damn near in every loss you had, with the exception of Texas A&M. Why does Miami fans have any type of confidence that anything's going to be different? That's a good point, Tyler. He might be. Absolutely. That's not true, John. Come on. If I go to a Miami page, if I go to Miami show, watch a YouTube channel on Miami right now, there's going to be a lot. Now, I will say this. See, that 45-3 ass whooping humbled y'all because I ain't heard none of that we back this offseason that I was hearing. So I will say this. Y'all have been a humble bunch since we spanked that ass. But that still doesn't mean y'all don't have confidence for this upcoming year. But I'm not going to argue with you no more, John. We finna get up out of here. We did 3 hours strong. Dustin Hill is back. We missed out on Key, but hey, maybe there's more coming. Don't know. We are targeting a JUCO safety. We are targeting a DB out of University of Texas San Antonio. Maybe more guys in the portal to come. But the big news is Dustin Hill. Dustin Hill is not only back, there's actually pictures of the guy. There's video footage. There's pictures. He's the real deal. He's back. Y'all hit the like button. We're going to get up out of here. My Knicks, the season is over for the New York Knicks. It's a sad, sad moment, but can't say I wasn't expected, to be honest with you. I didn't think we would go back to Miami and win. So until Julius Randle either gets his life together or gets the hell out of New York, the Knicks are what they are. But thanks everybody, man, who came in, tuned in. Hit that like button on the way out if you did hit on the way in. As always, it's your boy Polk over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy. We are out here. Go Noles. Dustin Hill. Glad you're here, buddy. Let's get to work.